What's up, guys? So I wanted to do more of a mechanics-based training day. So I went back and looked at some of the video from last week of me throwing kind of on the bullpen mound, and there's a big kind of part that I wanted to look at. And the big part that I'm looking at right here, and this is the position that I want to kind of attack a little bit, is kind of like my flip up, the timing of it, and more of kind of where and when my layback starts. And you can see here through these next couple of clips here is that the distance that I have for layback, the area that my arm goes into layback, is very shortened. So I have less of a runway to apply force to the ball. So what I thought about was looking at my upward scap rotation. And so I started by just taking my shirt off and putting my arms overhead continuously and just kind of seeing how my scap rotates upward. One thing that I also did see is that my shoulders aren't very aligned. My right shoulder is going to be about an inch higher than my left. And I've also noticed this when I kind of just like reach for ceilings around my house, where I've noticed that I have about an inch more reach with my right arm than my left. So just from a little bit of research that I did, I kind of came to the conclusion that my scap isn't upwardly rotating properly, just because of an overactive upper trap. Now that might not be the only issue. It could be like a mobility issue as well. But what I kind of found was that my serratus anterior and my lower trap were probably not being activated and not used in kind of any overhead position. So I pretty much started this exercise here with the band where I kind of hold this position with my arm kind of overhead. And all this is doing is basically kind of pushing my upper trap down. So I kind of have to use the other muscles around my shoulder to raise my arm overhead. And then this video is side by side, but I think it's going to take probably about a couple weeks, maybe a month, to kind of see any kind of difference within how my scap moves upwards. So that'll be something to check out later. And then moving on to more of the mechanical side, I wanted to make sure that I was working on like flipping up behind my body and that my torso was still kind of closed as I'm flipped up. One thing I did notice is like my torso is pretty much, not completely, but a good amount open by the time my arm already gets flipped up. So I think that kind of goes into not having a long runway to apply force to the ball. So this is kind of an effort to like make sure I'm flipping up behind my body, kind of staying closed a little bit. So I do a couple reps kind of at each weight with a plyo ball here. I started at 14 and went all the way down to 3. But I had a better feel for these drills with the heavier balls. And then I also added in this kind of behind view, kind of freezing in this position right here, just to kind of see what it looks like. And I was pretty happy overall with a lot of these throws and how they looked. And then again here, this is basically where I kind of want to be flipped up. And then I also made sure to add in some throws starting in an abbreviated position right here, making sure my glove is kind of up, but kind of starting in that position, kind of feeling it. Now I have done some work with this in the past. So I didn't really feel like I needed to do like too many of these throws, but I think this is something that I'm going to probably plan on doing with my plyos at least, probably just like twice a week, maybe 3 times. Maybe do it like if I'm ever going to do like a velo day again, maybe like next week, kind of see if that has any like effect or change on kind of like the flip up and the path that I have to acceleration and adding force to the ball. So that'll be something that I'll kind of like keep in mind too as I'm going through my training and kind of my throwing routine for the day. I do also have some exercises that I'm adding in to kind of build these movements and getting my body to move in a bit better way. So I am going to make some videos on those as well, and then work to incorporate those into my routine throughout the weeks. And then I also finished the day having a little fun. I usually use a med ball for some of my post throw and recovery. And I've always thought about kind of seeing if I could throw the med ball kind of over this is about a 20-foot fence. And I kind of did it first try. I was thinking it was going to be a little harder than normal, but I landed it, so that was pretty cool. But thank you all for watching, and please subscribe and keep up with all the content that I put out.